Good morning, good people. Jason here with Green Country Agroforestry on a bright and sunny Sunday morning. We're just out here having a look at the flowers and checking out all the fruit coming on this Bartlett pear tree. And this is the Elaeagnus multiflora, or gummy. These are going to ripen to a bright sweet berry here in a couple of weeks. I had started to worry about this front yard patch here. This is where our cannas that we lifted and then I just replanted some. This is where those were, and I was concerned that perhaps they weren't going to come up, but there's one right there starting to come up, so we'll probably see more of them shortly. It's just that early spring cool season was making them slow to emerge, which is ironic because, you know, early spring cool season, you'd think that radishes and cabbages perhaps. This is a cabbage down here, that's cabbage over there, all those yellow flowers. I see those yellow flowers. All the yellow flowers there, those are, my apologies, all the yellow flowers there are cabbages, and they are bolting. And apparently my alarm clock is going off inside, and I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but it's letting me know it's time for me to get up and go take care of the animals in case I'm sleeping in. I'm not sleeping in, I'm out here taking care of the garden. And speaking of animals, let's have a look at some of the stuff that's growing here. We've got some curly dock that's going to seed. There's curly dock. We have some curly dock going to seed here. You can see there's the flower. The ducks aren't really keen on the leaves of Rumex crispus, but the seeds they'll eat, and I've tasted them too. They're not bad. They're kind of grassy. If you like eating grass and grassy things, and ducks do, then this stuff is perfectly good to eat. And you can just pull off all the flower bits here. Some newly formed seed. I'm going to go visit some ducks. So I'm coming around here on the side of the grape arbor, and there's some iris growing at the base of that small red bud there. That's kind of cute. But over here on the left, we've got our sage blooming, and there's yarrow getting ready to bloom right there. So we'll have some purple and white flowers layered on top of each other. That'll be pretty. The almond tree is, well, it's still alive. Some yellow flag iris over here. Hasn't got the memo yet. Okay, I see there's a fair bit of chickweed over here too. And I'm going to grab some of that. Tell you what, it's starting to go to seed. And whenever you pull it up when it's starting to go to seed, you just wind up spreading the seeds around. All right, the ducks love this stuff. So we got some dock flower and some chickweed. Dock flower they may eat, chickweed they will eat. So this is where it all starts. Of course, it all begins with water, right? You have to have water to accomplish anything in your farm or on your garden, in your homestead. You got to have water. This water is not for drinking, it's for the ducks exclusively. Don't let ducks into any water that you don't want to become green and nasty in short order. But this is about 500 gallons of green nasty water with a hopeful willow tree planted in the midst of it. And this is, of course, exclusively for our ducks to drink, swim in, and breed in. And hopefully at least one or two of those little black ones over there, the young ducklings, will be males, and we will have a continuing supply of new ducklings. Okay, so the ducks have a pelletized feed available to them over there, and they get to nibble on that a little bit. But one of the things that they really, really enjoy, and probably more than anything else, is eating fresh, chopped greens out of the pond. that's dock flower. Is that stuff any good? Is it good? Do you like it? Huh? I could go get more if you like. Let's see, who do we have dining today? We've got one of the adults, one of the aunties, and we've got our juvenile. Those are khaki Campbell hens there. And then we've got our 3 little ones that are just the farm ducks that we got from Atwoods. Standing by. Well, they are somewhat accustomed to this particular treat. But if you're not accustomed to this treat, I'll tell you about it. This is Stellara media, or chickweed, and it is right at that stage where it's flowering, some of it's gone to seed. I can see a few immature seeds in amongst the things on the block, a couple mature seeds. But we've chopped it up fine, and I'll show you how the ducks respond to this particular food here in a second. Now they've got food in that little pan over there, right there. So you see the duck in the background. She's getting in there and getting some of the food out of the pan. But what they really want, you ready, guys? Are you ready? There you go. That's the good stuff right there. Oh my gosh. There you go. Get on in there. Now these ducks may look all innocent while they're in there nibbling away at the greens, but they're not just eating, they're manuring too. But almost immediately as soon as they get in the water, they start pooing in the pool, and all that manure's got to go somewhere. And in our case, it goes to this pipe right here. And this pipe has a valve. Open. Makes all that buddy ducky water come out from these little holes in the pipes. And so our corn patch is irrigated mostly by rainwater gathered into these trenches that you see filled with wood chips here. Those are actually only about maybe 1.5 feet deep or so. Well, they're about 1 foot deep, and then they're built up by about another 6 inches above grade. So their grand total is 2 feet of depth of wood chips, but it's, you know, 1.5 feet deep plus another 6 inches above the ground. We built up 6 inches. So we have pretty deep, thick, rich soil that we've pulled out of the trenches over the last couple of years that we've been doing this. Corn's growing in that, beans are growing in that, we got some radishes growing in that just for tillage to keep the soil loose, and of course to rot down and add organic matter whenever they rot down. Extra forage for the ducks because they're going to eat some of them. There's a couple sunflowers in here as well for a place for the wheel bugs to come to attack the grasshoppers and other pests, place for the birds to roost whenever they hunt grasshoppers as well. So in between the aerial assault from the wild birds and the wheel bugs up here at the top with the sunflowers, we'll have the ducks come in later on and attack grasshoppers on the ground. Our pests will be taken care of. So we've got fertilization taken care of. We've got the wood chips in the walkways to bank our rainwater, which goes a long way to keep from having to do supplemental watering. I have to just water a little bit to get everything started. Once everything's started, as long as we get fairly regular rain, We don't need to do much else other than fertilize periodically. That's a once a week chore because ducks get messy. And yeah. Now, about the amount of water that it takes here. So I used to do these 15-gallon tubs. Like I said, this one was nasty. I haven't changed that in a couple of days because they've had the pond. And this has just been filled up with rainwater, but they still muck it up. You can see how bad it gets after just a few days. So for about every 3 ducks, you need one of these, and that's, you know, equivalent to about 5 gallons of water per duck. We got 8 ducks. That's about, if we're using these, we'd need 5 times 8. That's 40 gallons of water per day. 40 gallons of water per day. It adds up fast. I don't need to do anywhere near pumping 40 gallons of water per day in the pond, however. The pond I might go through maybe 100 gallons a week, which may sound like a lot, but compared to 40 gallons a day, that's quite a vast savings. If I only have to pump 100 gallons a week and I get fertilizer out of the deal and the ducks are all happy, that's great. They're a lot happier in the pond than they are in shallow little tubs, I'll tell you that. But if all you've got is space for a couple of ducks in your backyard, get a couple of these 15-gallon, they're rubberized tubs, and you put about 10 gallons in each one of them, and you just rotate them out every other day. You can put your duck water in buckets and wait until it turns green if you like, and use that to water the plants in your garden and other places where the ducks can't go and manure for you. And that's a great way of having some free fertilizer as well. Of course, not everything that we have is good for the ducks to eat or good for us to eat in some things, particularly after they've been floating around in the duck pond for a day or two. They have to be scooped out of the bottom and they've got to go somewhere. They go here. So if it's not food for us and if it's not food for ducks, it's food for worms. Boy. And the worms are, of course, where we get our great seed start mix. And that's all in here. And as you can see, we are feeding them on, well, mostly weeds. It's what we feed them. All right, so here I've got some stiff, long-stemmed grasses that are going to seed. I just go ahead and yank those out. The ducks aren't going to eat them. There's some poke. The ducks will probably nibble on that a bit, but it'll make a good compost activator. Lots of protein, lots of nitrogen. There's some ragweed. I don't think the ducks really tackle that too much. That's unfortunate because, you know, this is one that you'd like for them to eat, but you know, they didn't show much interest. This is not going to be ready for the worms to eat it for a while. So we go ahead and we rake our more decomposed material out, spread it out. There we go. Not really. Huh. Okay. And then we take the new stuff and we just lay it over the top. And we can wet it if it needs to be wet. It's rained recently, it doesn't need to be wet. Seriously, that's it. That's worm's fed. That's all there is to it. One little, 2 little, 3 little duckies, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little duckies, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little duckies. All duckies go to the pond. All duckies come to the pond. So there's 1 little, 2 little, 3 little duckies, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little. All right, well there you have it, good people. This is the way we go about getting rid of weeds in the garden, feeding the ducks, fertilizing our garden, and of course keeping our population of worms in the worm bins good and happy. It's all tied together. You've been watching Green Country Agroforestry. And well, there you go. Proof is in the pudding, the duck soup, as the case may be.